What if a government could take the jewellery and belongings of people fleeing war, persecution and terror the moment they step into the country? Well, it's a new UK government proposal that's so controversial it's drawing comparisons to Nazi Germany.
I am a child of Jewish ancestry. I am Jewish. We have seen this with Nazi Germany. We are seeing it in 2025. This government needs to hang their heads in shame.
It's just one part of Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood's sweeping overhaul of the UK asylum system, a radical shift to the right by Britain's Labour Party on immigration. Even populist anti-immigrant politicians, including Nigel Farage, have chimed in, asking whether Mahmood is actually auditioning for reform.
For her to say she's not in the least bit interested in what reform has to say is clearly utter rot.
Under the Labour government's new plan, officials could take valuables, including cash, jewellery and other personal items, from people claiming asylum to cover the cost of their accommodation. I spoke to former Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn about these proposals, and he didn't hold back.
The only other people you'd treat like that would be people you're taking into custody. This is unbelievable. So somebody that's come here trying to escape a desperate situation, the first thing they find is that all their personal possessions, including obviously highly personal things like jewellery gifted by your parents or something like that, is taken off you. The wedding rings will be allowed to keep unless they're very big ones. What an inhuman way to treat people. If it was happening in other countries, the British government would be condemning it.
But it's not just the jewellery seizure that's being proposed. The Home Secretary's overhaul would make refugee status temporary, reviewed every 30 months, meaning that even families with children could be sent back if their home country is later deemed safe. Permanent residency, once automatic after 5 years, would now take up to 20.
Totally appalled by them. They seem to fail to recognise the global issue of refugees brought about by war and other issues around the world. It seems to me it's sort of pulling up the drawbridge on people whose positions become desperate, partly of our own creation.
The government is also planning new digital ID checks and AI-driven verification to enforce these rules.
What kind of world are we becoming where we are putting so many of our people under surveillance the whole time? And who are they stopping? It isn't white middle-aged men. It isn't that. It is always black or Asian or Middle Eastern people that are stopped and asked those questions.
Mahmood, who became Home Secretary in September, has changed her views dramatically over the past few years. Originally publicly urging a general amnesty for undocumented workers, she now justifies her sweeping reforms as being the last chance for decent, moderate politics. She now argues that by controlling and reducing immigration levels, the government can then defeat the rising right wing and restore harmony. But many feel the move actually embodies the very anti-immigrant forces that she hopes to contain. And it's not the first shift in Mahmood's public positions. Once a pro-Palestine activist who attended rallies across the country.
I'm just here, it's Saturday afternoon, a peaceful protest outside of a Sainsbury's store here in central Birmingham, and it's 3:30 and the store has actually just shut as a result of the peaceful protest. That's about 4.5 hours worth of business that Sainsbury's is losing for supporting goods from the Israeli settlements which are illegal under international law.
She now, as Home Secretary, backs the ban on Palestine Action as a terrorist organisation. For Labour, all of this is unfolding as the Prime Minister's popularity hits record lows, with speculation mounting that he could actually be ousted within the next few months. But for the people fleeing war and persecution, arriving in the UK could now mean losing what little they brought with them and facing years of uncertainty over their right to stay.
I think we're headed into a very dangerous direction unless there can be a coherent opposition that does not compromise on the fundamental issues of human rights and is prepared to stand up against racism in any form within our society.